Good morning, Joseph here from Free Gardens Unlimited. This morning doing a bit of a transplant tutorial, maybe some tips that'll help increase the rate at which your potted plants and starts grow. What I've done today is I've taken, because of the way the holes are, the drain holes are on these pots here, because of the way they're oriented. What I've done is I've taken some of our sandy compost, which is located nearby over there, and I went and put a bit in each pot to the tune of about a half an inch. And the reason why is drainage. The roots need to be well drained, okay? As you water your plants, the soil is going to compact around it. It's called soil compaction. So what we want to do in order to make sure that there is no standing water left really in the actual medium and rhizosphere, the root mass of the plant, we're going to go ahead and allow all the water that we seep through to drain away, because that's going to carry, the runoff is going to carry all of the dissolved salts and the waste materials of the plant away from the root mass. We're going to maintain a high oxygen atmosphere within the rhizosphere. Not so much for the roots, but more for the microbiology, the mycorrhizae, the trichoderma, the other microorganisms that are within the soil. So what we're going to do right now is, I picked Cucumbers Transplant this morning because they're obviously in need, but they're also very, very sensitive plants. I tried transplanting cucumbers last year and they did not tolerate it well. In fact, they died. So I'm going to try again this year, and if this goes well, then we're going to have all sorts of pickles this winter. So here we go. Now the thing about transplanting, there are two general rules you want to follow. Number one, always transplant in the evening after the sun has lost its power, okay? Or in a shaded area. For the sake of this video, we're going to go ahead and bypass that. But what I'm going to do is try to use the shadow of my body to kind of block out the direct sunlight, because direct sunlight will kill roots quicker than anything else. I promise you. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and pop this out. It should be perfectly root bound. And it is. Look at that. Look at those white, healthy roots. It's well aerated. It's not compact. There are just roots everywhere. Everywhere. And all that is due to some of the techniques that we use here at Free Gardens Unlimited with our compost, our super soil, and our compost tea. So let's go ahead and get this little darling in her rightful place. Now, need to add some more of this. Yeah, we're good right about there. That's perfect. Now look at this. This is what you want. That's awesome. And then we'll go ahead and use the good stuff to backfill. And then really just add water, because I use the same thing for the compost tea, really. And it just works, as you can plainly see. These things, just a couple of weeks ago, they were just itty-bitty little things. You know, 2 weeks later, you know, hot weather, greenhouse conditions, perfect. They love the heat. Now, we're in western Washington State now, so, you know, cukes really aren't that big of a challenge. Transplanting them is. Moving them is. They don't like to be messed with. They really don't. You have to treat them with care. This is going to buy me a little more time to A, ensure the health and the vigor of the plant in an early stage, B, protect them from predation by rabbits. Got to let them get big enough before I put them outside. Rhizospheric conditions, soil composition plays a big part in this, because what we want is an environment for the roots that they can easily travel through. And clay is one of the biggest inhibitors to root growth. Case in point, just look at some of the things in the garden here, how some look larger than the others. They're still the same variety, you know, but some are bigger than others because of the soil composition. There is so much clay still left in here that needs to be worked, that it's just not performing as it should. So we do what we can, you know, to put as much of that into here as possible. Because once we break up that clay, we're golden. Everything else is already here. You know, at the end of each year, we put in sulfur, we put in calcium, you know, we put in azomite, rock dust, back into the soil each year, and with our home waste material, compost, which is right behind the blue container there. In conjunction with that, we really put back into the earth every fall what these plants take out, so I don't have to worry about crop rotation. If I'm putting back what's being taken, I don't have to worry about crop rotation so much. So that's kind of the reason why we're doing it in the fashion that we're doing. You know, we're just trying to show that there are many ways of going about the same thing. Oh, look at our watermelon. Look at our watermelon over here. Not to get off track, I know I do that a lot. 3 watermelon, I got those transplanted just before we started this video. We're using the compost tea as a good saturator post transplant, but let's get back to getting these cucumbers dealt with, and then we will we'll go ahead and we'll get them their first soaking in their new home. Now that's perfect. I couldn't expect any better. So we're gonna go ahead and just get all these little bitties squared away. And we'll go ahead and we'll do you next. So come on over here, you rascal, you little darling. Oh, look at you, perfectly root bound. See, this is what's called root circling. The roots want to grow, but they can't, so they have to circle the container. And this is just about the perfect time. This is slightly getting into that root circling, root bind, but we're gonna take care of it right now. Oh, perfect. Look at you. Oh, no, we want to try and center even more. There we go. There you go. Oh. And we'll just go ahead and tamp it down just a little bit. Remember, you got to be careful with cucumbers and their roots. That should really allow it to breathe and feed much better. And number 3, go with you. Oh, you're still actually really moist. Yeah, see, look at that. Uh-oh, kind of messed up on that one. Hope we didn't make you go flash blind. Little one, get you covered up as soon as possible. You don't like that. There we go. Just a little tamp. Go ahead and stick you in a spot where you're easily visible. There we are. And set you right there. And now for the little one. I'll run to the litter. There we go. Oh man, look at that thing. She's so ready. So ready, bro. And a spot where you're easily visible and will be for a few, if not a week. So there we are. Those are our additional cucumbers. You can see over here just how well our direct plant are doing, and these were transplanted a couple of weeks before these potted ones, and you can see they're just getting a lot of flowers on them. They're getting really good. These are snap peas right next to it. Tower power. Got our little potato friend down here. Hello, potato. Oh, medicine. The girls. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Our jostaberry. Our lettuce starting to go to seed. I got to top those ones off that are going to seed. We got 4 or 5 in here that are starting to go to seed. I had to top them off and cut them down, make a salad, because otherwise they'll just go to waste. So there's our beets. Again, soil composition. It's too much clay. The bulbs aren't being allowed to swell because the soil's too compact. Still got too much clay in it. So I got to go through by hand and till these every once a month at least along the sides to break up the soil so that it will allow the root to actually swell. So soil composition is a big thing, and it's something that a lot of us take for granted. Don't. And it is possible. I mean, you can go raised bed. We're doing that here, and look at these. Just a couple of weeks ago, they were just little tiny darlings. Now they're going into full. They're going into full mode. They're just getting huge. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the hoop house on this end. We're going to give these girls about 2 feet. So we're going to do a hoop, and a hoop. Put it on 2 2x4s. Use a hinge, and then we can go back that way with it during the day. We need to water and check on them. And that's just for the watermelon and the cantaloupe. And I think that we do not have enough space for them all, but we're going to do it anyway, regardless of what happens, because we got such a small plot here to grow on. So, but this right here, what you see here, just the garden by itself, without the greenhouse, saves this household between $5,000 and $10,000 annually outgoing grocery expenses, and we feed our neighbors. These tomatoes. The thing that I don't like about this particular configuration that we have is that these are actually deprived of the last few hours of the good evening sun. So they get the first light of the morning, and they carry it all the way through till about 5:30, 6 p.m. is when they really start getting shaded. But they're going nuts. Still, they're going nuts. I mean, the fruit on these things, they're just swelling up. If you want big food, you got to have big water. You got to give the plant room to grow, and you got to have big water. Our goji berry over here is going baller. I don't think it likes the extreme heat because it's stretching so much, but I keep it well watered. It stays really cool. Well, cooler than the rest. I know the grapes do not like anything over 90 degrees. I know that. They don't like anything really over 90 degrees. But they're just way too heavy for me to manhandle as they are by myself. So I have the fan to keep them cooler during the day. Our gooseberry is just going nuts. Our blueberries are, I need to add some humic acid to that soil to really get them to set off. Really get them to come in. And our strawberries, they're just loving life. They're just loving life. It's just perfect right now. If there's anything different I could be doing with these, please let me know. With the blueberries, also, please let me know. I'm just like you guys. I'm just a student. I am no master certainly, but a worthy student am I. But my methodology produces positive results. Look at that. We're Western Washington. We don't have the weather for this. California wonder, bell pepper. We don't have the natural conditions But we got a greenhouse, you know. And then these are our 3 cantaloupe. I'm going to be transplanting these off camera later today, probably this evening. But I'm gonna have to find a place for these cucumbers. We got to get them wetted down, so we're going to go ahead and get our compost tea together. Here, let's go take a walk. Let's go fill this up. Our cup runneth over. Got to wash that thing and sell it. So here's our air pump. We just got that pretty much zip tied to the top of it. We got the air tubes coming in here and feeding it. Oh, look at this. We got 60 gallons of compost tea. This is good for feeding the garden twice a week and keeping the young ones going once a week on 60 gallons because it has all the good stuff in it. You know, let's agitate it, stir it up. We want those particulates in the brew that we give the plants. We really want those fine particulates. So, take the lid off that. That's what it should look like. And we'll set that down. Put the cap on it. And there we go. And we'll go ahead and go feed these. In terms of feeding and watering, I usually feed water. Compost tea, water, that kind of thing. As needed. And they need it at least once a day. So we're going to go ahead and give them first good soaking. General rule of thumb, you want a minimum 10% runoff from anything that you put into it. So that is sufficient. You don't want to. You can overwater them. It's not easy to do, but it is possible. We're a little sloppy here, but just for the sake of doing it on camera. Yep, it just soaks it right up. There may actually be a bit too much sand in here. We'll find out. Nope. No, we're good. You're just soaking it right up. I'm just going too fast. And it just soaks right in. That's what you want. Because that's pulling oxygen down to the roots. Cover them roots. Cover them roots, keep them covered. Put a shirt on that lady. Gotta give the roots that covering. Roots and sunlight, not good bedfellows. Dadgummit. All right. There we go. There we go. By agitating it, moving it up quickly, helps pull the water down through faster. soaks it right up. Just soaks it right up. Yeah, we're getting some runoff there. There we go. We're good. We're saturated. Just look how quick that soaks up. She's going to be okay. It just soaks right up. That's actually perfect. Need some more over here. There we go. A little room, and we'll just let them sit there for the day and relax. Let them do their thing. And then I'll put them in the greenhouse this evening. Let them get all that benefit of that, all that direct sunlight. So, hope y'all are having the best of luck with what you're doing. We pray you get all the benefit and success of being a member of Free Gardens Unlimited. I'm just doing what I do and letting you know how I do it. And that's kind of what this group is for. Sharing is caring. Feed the people. Well, or you can help them learn how to feed themselves. So, oh, blessed. So much work to do still. But that's all for today from Free Gardens Unlimited. Love y'all. God bless. Bye now.